What's good, gamers? Little941 here, back with another Destiny 2 weapon review video. In this one, we're going to be going over the brand new competitive weapon this season, the Redrix's Estoc. Before we get too deep in the video, if y'all can click like and hit subscribe as well, that'd be really cool. I put out at least one video a week on Fridays at noon Eastern time, and I'd really appreciate y'all sticking around for the future. Thank you very much. Dude, this gun... Let's start at the beginning. Redrix's Estoc is a 450 RPM legacy PR 55 frame pulse rifle in the kinetic slot that does stasis damage. You get it by playing your placements this season in competitive, and then you get a guaranteed roll. After that, just play your 3 competitive matches, and then you are guaranteed a drop for each character. This thing is insane, man, and I feel so bad for the BXR. Imagine having to run Dares of Eternity however many times it takes to get 5 red border BXRs, when you can just int in 7 comp matches for what's probably the best pulse rifle in the game right now. Oh, this is fucking stupid, man. What the fuck? This and BXR are the only 2 legacy PR 55 frames in the game, so I'm going to be comparing them directly to each other. And dude, look at these stat disparities. It's got 4 more range, 4 more stability, 8 more handling, 13 more airborne effectiveness. Not that that's a real stat for this gun, but whatever. Like, look at this shit, dude. Like, 4 is not a great amount, but it is higher in all of the stats that matter, so who gives a fuck? Like, this is just better than the BXR. I could end the video there. There was a legitimate argument to be made for the BXR being the best pulse rifle in the game, if that's what you're into, and this is just BXR Plus. It's got the best sight of any weapon in the game, and if you disagree, the frame feels amazing to play from with the hip, so you don't have to deal with that if you don't want to. It's incredibly easy to get your hands on one, and the guaranteed first drop is one of the few fucking god rolls the Estoc can actually get. I am struggling to come up with any significant downsides to this thing. It can fight at range, it can fight up close. It like, what the... Dude. Actually, turns out I can. Allegedly, there is a bug where if you never played through your comp placements in any previous season, you get a curated rows instead. So if you haven't played comp before, you'll have to wait till the week after to start farming. You won't get the Lone Wolf Sword logic roll that this shit drops with. So, womp womp. 2 weeks to target farm this versus however long it takes to sift through all the other weapons in Dares of Eternity to get red borders on the BXR is still probably in the Estoc's favor. I guess now would be as good a time as any to break down perk options. In column 3, you got Encore, Lone Wolf, Offhand Strike, Perpetual Motion, Zen Moment, Rhyme Stealer, and Demolitionist. So Encore pushes your range up to 74 and your stability up to 95 at maximum stacks. It's got incredible synergy with any of the other chaining options in 4. Lone Wolf gets you to 100 aim assist when you're isolated. No range or stability boost, but honestly 100 aim assist on its own is good enough to warrant looking into. Plus it also makes an already really good feeling gun feel even better with the ADS speed increase. Like it's real snappy. Love this perk. Offhand Strike is normally a perk that I do not care about and just ignore, but since this is a legacy PR 55 frame pulse, and it's quite capable from the hip already, this pushes even further into a unique aspect of the gun. I'm trying to get one with this to drop just to see how it feels, but I imagine it's not half bad, so keep your eyes out for it. It might be one of the better options. Perpetual Motion is a great brain-off, no-thinking perk. It pushes your handling up to 99 at a base, so you'll probably want to make sure you aren't overcapping from the stock you've got, but it's not the worst thing in the world if you do so just good perk too. Zen is great, and is insane on pulse rifles. The only problem with it is that Headseeker and Rapid Hit are in column 4, and I find pairing it with either of those to be a bad idea. Not like you're throwing, but I think you're just wasting too much stats, because you hit a certain threshold and you don't get any benefit anymore, or a severely diminished benefit, if that makes sense. Large overlap tends to make certain perks redundant. It's kind of meh. Rhyme Stealer is for heavy stasis builds and pairs with Headstone, and Demolitionist is for grenade-heavy builds and pairs with Desperate Measures. Both of those are perfectly fine and acceptable options, but not what I would personally be going for on this gun. My pick is either Zen Moment or Lone Wolf if I'm trying to optimize. Offhand is a weird third pick just due to the frame synergy that's probably not better than just playing normally with the other options, but something that I am just hunting for because I want to see how it actually feels. In column 4, you got Desperate Measures, Desperado, Headstone, Kill Clip, Headseeker, Rapid Hit, and Sword Logic. Desperate Measures is not as good as Sword Logic, but it's still a good chaining perk you're not throwing if you have this instead. Desperado has not been a top tier option since its nerf a million years ago. I don't know any gun that actually wants this over other better options. It's just worse Cascade Point on specifically burst weapons, so yeah, don't know what they're doing with this perk. Headstone is great and works very well with stasis builds, but it's better for PvE than PvP, and since Heresy doesn't have any stasis boost in the artifact, it's not as strong as last season. Kill Clip is a great tried and true, and for some reason I act like I have it on mine in these clips even though I don't. It's not a bad pick. Headseeker is great. I do think the per shot recoil is a little low for this to be a game changer, but if you find success with it, far be it from me to tell you otherwise. Rapid Hit gives so much stability that you're actively in danger of overcapping if you pair it with a couple of different options in 3 or have a good stock. It's still very good, it's very easy to use, and I love this perk, and you get rewarded for just playing the way you're supposed to, and that's awesome. But I think you are in danger of overcapping, so it might not be the best pick here. Now, what is the best pick, though, is probably Sword Logic. It's an incredibly cracked damage perk for the Crucible. It brings the damage per shot for the Estoc up to 38 to the head after 1 kill, and after the second it becomes 43. You can 2-burst after 2 kills, and the mag size is high enough that you won't need to reload if you're worried about getting that 3rd kill. This thing tears through grouped up teams in comp and trials, and it does pretty good in 6s too. It's absolutely the best damage perk that is available for PvP right now. Now, Kill Clip might be better after a single kill, but it's a 5% disparity with a much higher ceiling and no reload requirement. So I think Sword Logic is just an insanely good perk. And for you want either Sword Logic for chaining, Rapid Hit or Headseeker for the neutral if you don't have Zen Moment. Instead of an origin trait, this thing gets stock options. Like as with all comp weapons, it's statistical focus. All of them are acceptable, just pay attention to what they do so that you don't end up overcapping. So like I said before, I am struggling to find something negative about this gun, and like, I'm scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel here. Maybe the stasis muzzle flash effect is a little bit distracting when hip firing some of the time. It's not really obstructive, but it's noticeable when you remember that it exists. On that topic, you are now breathing manually. You're welcome. The curated roll they give you is so stupid good for 3s and 6s, but it honestly, I found a lot of success in trials with it this weekend. Hammer Forged, Flared, Lone Wolf, Sword Logic, Handlaid, and a Stability Masterwork. It's the one I'm using in these clips, and barring maybe accurized rounds in column 2, I don't think I want much different if I'm looking for a god roll. Like I said before, I'm still hunting for one with offhand just because I want to see if the frame synergy is enough to make that perk pop, but honestly, the curated one they give you was just fucking cracked. It took it in the revamped trials playlist, and it was outfighting all other kinds of pulses and scouts with ease, and it was dueling close range too. Man, this thing is insane. It's super easy to get. In my last comp weapon video, I answered whether or not the riposte was worth it for you. In this video, it's not even close to a question. You will get yourself a Redrix Estoc, and you will find a way to fit it into your build, or you will die. You will lose. This thing is snappy, it's fun, it holds its own at range and up close, it has probably the most efficient PvP damage perk in the entire game in Column 4. If you are not working towards getting one, I think you are making an active mistake. If you are a PvP player and you do not have one of these in your build, I think you are throwing. This gun is so good, and like I said before, you could make an argument before that the BXR Battler was the best pulse rifle in the game. It was a unique frame, had a unique perk, and felt really good from the hip or roll ADS. You could make it, it was incredibly effective at whatever you were leaning into. And this is just a better version of that gun. It has the same model, it has the same firing sound. It is just a statistical improvement compared to it. It doesn't have bullet execution rounds, but honestly, I don't know very many people that were using that over Kill Clip for the BXR. Now, like I said, that's not my gun, but it was a unique aspect, and I like leaning into unique aspects. Sword Logic just kind of does better. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want this gun to be, like, I want the guns to be good, and like, they said they were going to start making PvP drops best in slot weapons, and they've definitely done that. The only time that I would use the BXR over the Estoc is if I wanted to use a kinetic exotic, and I don't really care to do that at this point because I get to use the best pulse rifle in the game. That's Stasis and my Anonymous Autumn with Baccaris. So, yeah. I'm eating good. I'm eating good. But, like with every other video that I put out, that is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Have you gotten one of these yet? Has it been treating you well? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.
1 minute left, my friend. Only one enemy is left. It is just you now, friend. Fight until you have nothing left. The match is yours. Celebrate. I will join you.